I'm going on a quest.
Hey, how are you?
Hello, Canada.
You like the dunk tank?
Walk over glass. Hey, rep, kiss my
We messed up. Things got out of hand. Drake's is in bad shape.
Don't take my gold away.
You wearing your rubber boots tonight?
The Fandom Sports app, the only app where you get to argue about sports and win stuff. Vote on arguments, post your own arguments, win fights, collect points, and win cool stuff. Fight with your thumbs, not with your fists. The Fandom Sports app, available now on the Apple Store. There's a new version coming shortly and coming soon to all of you Android users.
This is JD's podcast. JD's Rubber Boots podcast. We're gonna sit and relax and tell you all sorts of stories. Talk about life and little sports. You know we're gonna play some games. And if nothing else, you know we're gonna have a laugh. We're gonna have a laugh, oh yeah. 'Cause this is the podcast.
Episode 5. Guys, the word hero gets thrown around a lot.
I use it all the time,
when
James.
it comes to sports. But what I am doing today, somehow making my way in here, doing a podcast, doing quality podcasting with a broken pinky finger,
What?
is above and beyond.
Broken.
Does it remind you of Kirk Gibson limping around the bases
I
after
was
the home
thinking
run?
more of, what's his name? Bond on the Toronto
Bobby Bonds.
Bobby Bond.
That's the biggest scam story ever, by the way.
Yeah, it's probably a hairline fracture.
Broken leg.
Right. You're not playing and
Yeah,
scoring
like
the
if
winning goal on a
it's
broken
a compound fracture. It's not happening.
Yeah,
Right.
exactly.
leg. Like, that is one of those myths.
My dad used to say it to every time I'd be sick and I didn't want to play or something. He's like, Bobby Bond,
played on a broken leg.
Okay, I'll play.
No offense, Bobby Bond, who's I've met and is a very cool guy.
Is he?
But come on.
Yeah.
It's not like the fibula was sticking out of his skin.
I know.
There's probably been a million guys play.
Joe
on-
Theismann.
on
Although
hairline
football players
fractures.
always play with broken hands, and they just put that heavy cast on that they can just whack guys in the head with. It's
Yeah.
actually an advantage.
So what happened?
Well, Lester, Puffy knows this because he gets to hear it every night on the hockey broadcast. But I play in a very highly competitive beer football league.
It's very true. There was a CFL player in it a couple years ago.
Well, no, actually, yes, there was.
Yeah.
He's left us now, and he's actually in the CFL.
Yeah.
Matt Coates. He's now he holds on field goals for the Bombers.
He does?
Yeah, and he's a receiver.
Good for him.
That was the first time I ever had street cred with any of the football crew, Dunnigan and those guys, because he was actually my quarterback, and we won the Ontario championships, and then a year later he was in the CFL, which is a remarkable story. I don't think many guys have gone from my touch football league to the CFL.
If only we had an inside in that story, we could have done it. Were you hiding it?
Oh no! And what we did, I made them on the Grey Cup coverage that year because he played in the Grey Cup with the Ticats a few years ago.
I remember meeting him.
And we had the shot of us winning the Ontario championship.
Yeah.
And of course, I had them, circle me and highlight me, and he was just in the corner. No, but that was sort of a. I was going to say travel team, but that even sounds way better than it should be. That was our. It was kind of, I don't know what you call it. That was the good team. This league has players of all qualities.
Yes.
It's a pure beer league.
Yeah.
On Sunday mornings, and I just jam my stupid
But
finger.
you are a bit of a star in it.
Yeah, I'm dominant. I'm not going to lie. But now what? The team is rattled. Future's at stake. Do I retire?
Yeah, I think you should. You've played till you're 50. That's a good number.
It's a good number. And today I retire from pro football.
Do I have to come back for one game and then sign a one-day contract and then walk
No,
off the field?
I say you walk away now, and then maybe in a couple years you come back.
I was having this discussion. You and I were having this discussion last night in Pooley, who played 20 years in the
His
NHL.
face was so good.
Are you actually having this discussion for real?
He said, we've thought about it more than I did when I retired from the NHL. We're like, this is legitimate.
Just giving it to you.
It's probably time to go. Don't you think, Puff?
Yeah, if
I've
you're breaking bones.
won multiple titles.
Yeah, I mean, MVPs, I'm sure.
Oh, yes. Several.
Another turning point, a fork stuck in the road.
Matt Denigan drops back, zeroes on the clock, throws up a prayer. It is intercepted. James Duffy is headed to the Grey Cup.
I hope you you had the time of your life.
For an MVP, you get like a pitcher of beer.
Pretty good.
I frame them.
I'm sorry to hear.
No, now my golf game's ruined.
That's the thing.
Imagine if it happened to Lester, though. Lester couldn't play anymore.
Disaster.
Elton Ron would be screwed.
They'd be on hiatus.
The Lester McLean band would be screwed. Grooveyard would be screwed.
Yeah,
a lot of
to-
bands.
to cancel the tour. How many bands are you in
that's
again?
a lot.
Well, I'm in 3 bands basically.
And
But
do
don't
they all do
always work.
gigs?
Yeah, they're all busy.
So
That's
hold
gonna
on.
be
So
busy.
Elton Ron,
Elton Ron.
the Gravediggers. What is it called?
It's a Grateful Dead.
It's called Grooveyard.
Grooveyard.
Oh, the Grooveyard. All
Now,
right.
does Grooveyard do mostly like weddings?
Mostly weddings, corporate stuff. Yeah.
Where would Hello? Would Hello be played by the Grooveyard?
No, hello. That's my band.
And what's that band called?
The Lester McLean band.
Nice.
Oh, Lester McLean.
Now, is there anybody who plays in
Yes, like Michael Acapenti, my good friend, and
Yeah.
Juno award-winning.
Is that Boy Wonder?
No, that's Michael Acapenti.
I think we need to have another podcast just where we get to know all
Lester's crew?
all Lester's
Bring
peeps.
my peeps in. Yeah.
All right, so Lester's healthy. I got a broken finger. Stoff didn't have any more car problems this week. You're good.
How long are you in the? I'm doing air quotes.
By the way,
everybody.
this is
Cast.
not. This is a. I made this myself. Right now.
In fairness, it looks made.
I
It does not look like quality
thought
work.
you'd been to the hospital.
No surgeon would put their name
'cause
behind that.
I did the exact thing to the other pinky 10 years ago. So today I need to get an X-ray.
Yeah.
Right.
Whoa,
And-
whoa. You don't know if it's actually broken?
No, I know it's broken. 100%.
You're
broken.
just making this
I can-
diagnosis on your
I
own?
guarantee you it's broken.
I think there's a chance it's
There
not
is
there, Bobby
zero-
Bond.
There is zero chance this figure is not
James
broken.
Duthie, where did you
Okay,
get your
so
medical
if you get
degree?
the x-rays and it comes back not broken.
I will cop to it.
You'll cop to it?
on
Okay.
next week's podcast.
Okay.
So, but I have to get the official thing to go try to go see some specialist guys or whatever. Although there's nothing you can do with the pinky. All you end up doing is they put a fancier splint on, they tape it to the other, and you have to keep it straight for 6 weeks. By the way, you
a
think
long
the
time.
pinky's, it's amazing what you can't do when you don't have a pinky. Like just showering, spots you can't reach, shaving, putting your hair product on, trying to.
And are you righty dominant?
No, I'm a left-handed guy.
So then it's not that big a deal.
No, it is a massive deal. So there's a shady clinic near where I live.
Okay.
You know our health system. It's usually well, I don't know. Usually it's tough to get. It's tough to get into these things, right? You have to wait an hour or get an appointment with your
for
doctor. So there's this clinic, and I can't even say where it is because there'd be only one clinic in this town. It's not Aurora where I live. It's nearby. And I took my daughter there when she tore her ACL.
Why wouldn't you have taken her to the hospital?
Well, because at the time we didn't know she had torn her ACL.
Oh,
we knew her knee was a mess, and basically I was trying to get a doctor to authorize an MRI so I can go through all that stuff, right?
Mm-hmm.
And I take her down there, and the doctor looks at her and he moves it around. He goes, "Nah, she's fine. She didn't do anything."
Yeah.
So I'm like, "All right, Gracie, get back out there." And the next day she's running and she's going, "Dad, this isn't right." So I went to see through some connections, some guys downtown.
You had her running on a torn
and she had a
ACL.
completely torn ACL.
Completely torn.
So I was already wondering about this clinic.
Yeah.
But the only reason I went there today was to get a form to get an X-ray because you have to have a doctor. You can't just show up at an X-ray place.
No.
Okay.
So I said, I'll just go to this place. And this is the second time I've been there. There's been no one there. How many health clinics in Canada are there no one there? Yes, Mr. Duthie, we can see you right away.
Wow.
And the
Yeah,
doctor,
that's true.
they put me in the doctor's, and they usually put you in the doctor's office
Yeah,
and you
and
wait
wait
10
there.
minutes.
Yeah.
The doctor was already in the office, sitting on his laptop with his feet up. So what happened, sir? Oh, I broke my pinky. Oh, let's have a look at that. He looked at it for like 10 seconds. Does this hurt? Okay, I'll give you the authorization form. And off I go. But then I get to the X-ray done, and she goes, "I'll send this to this doctor." And I'm like, "No, I need a real doctor."
I just used a shady guy to get me
The
into
guy from The
X-rays.
Simpsons.
Hi, everybody.
Hi, Dr. Nick.
Wow. It's like he used to be a
Nick.
vet or something.
He probably is a vet.
He's on the list.
Anyway, so this is the perfect clinic to go to if you ever guys need to get in to see somebody fast. Just don't expect to get any accurate.
And he's pretty free with the prescriptions.
Oh yeah, that's if I ever get hooked on anything, that is exactly where I'm going.
Vicodin, you say?
Yes. Didn't I renew that yesterday, Mr. Duffy? Good news. Jonathan Pitra has been released from hospital in Minnesota.
That's amazing.
I want to share that with you guys.
That is awesome.
He got out yesterday on Thanksgiving Monday. He has been in there forever. Basically, when he had his stem cell transplant back in February, I think, and they'd hoped he'd be out a couple of months after, but he had so many complications. And fact is, it was looking really dire in the summer. I mean, the kid's already been through hell his entire life, but the last 6 months have been an extra dose of hell. And I only mention this, because we love him dearly, and we're going to have him on the pod.
Oh, that's awesome.
Yeah. I talked to his mom today, and maybe as soon as next week. I got a lot of people who listen and said, are you ever going to have Jonathan on? I said, as soon as he's healthy, he'd be my favorite guest to have on. So
that's fantastic.
We'll have Jonathan on really, really soon. And Eric Stone Street, he'll be on as well. Do you know people on Twitter, people who listen to us on Twitter are writing Eric Stone Street on
like,
Twitter? He's like, what is going on here? If you didn't listen last year, Eric Stone Street became Not on Purpose our Matt Damon, where he was supposed to come on, and then I don't know, his publicist canceled, and then I never called back, and then he was supposed to be on again, and I've been promoting him for about a year now.
Oh, yeah.
Do you think we should ever have him on or just continue this?
Oh, I think it's probably a lot more fun if we just continue it.
Yeah. So Eric Stone Street, upcoming on a very soon
I'm
episode.
very excited.
All the Modern Family people that listen to the pod every week. Damn it! Damn you! I thought this was the one! Here's the Rod Smith recap.
Last week on the Rubber Boots podcast.
Mr. Smith,
What is it, Emilio?
you have guests waiting.
Come on, you know not to interrupt when Roddy's doing his magic voice work.
I'm sorry, Mr. Rod. The ladies are here.
I know. The ladies are here. Tell them to wait in the hot tub.
I'm sorry, Mr. Rod.
How many times do I have to tell you, Emilio? Invoice is my soulmate.
I'm sorry, Mr. Rod.
I always pleasure her first.
Okay.
Now iron my robe. I'll be out shortly.
Okay, I'm sorry.
Where was I? In episode 4, Duthie went full hobo.
So I'm looking pretty ratty, and I got this big plastic bag full of stuff. And he said, son, could I buy you a coffee or something?
Puffy made a bizarre confession about exposing himself.
I actually had to do that as one of my things to marry my wife. My father-in-law made me do all these tests.
For real? Was he present?
Yeah, he was watching me do it.
Even Rod Smith baby finds that disturbing. Meanwhile, Sirius Lester announced the title of his new album.
I've had a bride grab my ass once.
Catchy, but only once? That's every wedding for Roddy, including his nanas. Anyway, later, the boys' baseball credibility took a hit when discussing home run records in the fandom segment.
He hit lots of homers.
Could somebody look up how many
I'm on
home runs?
Google machine this. Maybe 73. Did he hit 73?
Oh, he hit like 80. McGuire hit like 72.
No.
And we found out how Stav spends his weekends after having to edit this disaster every week.
He wears t-shirts that say, I hate rubber boots, but he wears rubber boots.
And he just walks around downtown Toronto.
Finally, the entire crew was disgusted by the fact that Cash Me Outside, How About That Girl is now rich and famous and making records.
This is what is wrong with America!
Maybe Roddy needs a viral catchphrase. Let's try a few. Yes, that's an invoice in my pocket. And yes, Roddy's happy to see you. Emilio, top up the coconut oil. The franchise of this podcast, the franchise of this network, the franchise of your girlfriend's erotic imagination. Yo quiero una tortilla, Captain Amiga.
How are those fries, Susan?
Pick your favorite catchphrase, kids. That's a whole lot of Roddy gold right there. Just remember, I trademark every word I speak, and you will be invoiced. Till next time.
The Rod Smith recap. Had a little chat with Roddy. We overlapped in the studios.
Yeah.
Nice.
The hockey crew came in last night as the football crew was leaving.
Yeah.
Seems to be hanging in there on the pod.
Yeah.
He almost drew the line when I had his penis doing the push-up, the curls.
The curls.
Almost.
But I think Roddy likes the Roddy.
I think Roddy likes it.
Roddy.
We mentioned last week on the pod that the lines have been blurred between Rod Smith baby and Rod Smith, the franchise of TSN. And we got a hold of that commercial that is airing where there is a tinge of Rod Smith Baby in this.
Get back to 1978 when it all began. How are those fries, Susan?
Enjoy retro classics like the throwback tuna melt until October 22nd at Kelsey's, the original Roadhouse since 1978.
Yeah.
A tinge?
How are those fries?
Actually,
Emilio.
That should be the catchphrase that wins, actually.
That's
for the Rod Smith recap.
Well, yeah, you're right. I mean, that's totally Rod Smith Baby.
And don't you think that music in the background would be playing at a Rod Smith Baby party?
Oh, there would definitely be that tune. Would be.
Emilio, put that on in the background.
Get back to 1978.
Lester was busy at work this week after promising us a new theme for a new segment and then not delivering for several weeks. This is basically, something we do every week. We talk about what happened last week, but now it has a theme to it.
Let's discuss the week that was with James Duffy and the Rubber Boots Podcast crew.
I like it.
I like
That's
that.
really good.
It's simple. It mentions me.
What always the winner?
What more do you want?
That's based on the first thing you sang last week, right?
Yeah,
It is.
So I inspired. So I get a writing credit.
You get a writing credit. Absolutely. Absolutely.
Oh, yeah.
Nice.
They throw writing credits
Another notch
around
on your
now.
belt, pal.
So the week that was, I had I tweeted this. So if you saw this story on my tweet, there was a smoothie incident at my household.
Yeah,
So
kind of
so on the weekend, my daughter, we make a lot of smoothies at my house. I
big
have
smoothie
I have a
house.
smoothie every breakfast.
Oh, nice.
Every breakfast.
Yes, that is my breakfast. I put a lot of healthy stuff in there. Little coconut milk.
I thought you were going to say coconut koi.
Spinach. That's such an inside joke. Quinoa, you mean? Okay, so just so Stoff and Lester, the listeners, know what we're talking about. It's something that Puffy and I have laughed about for years. There is a English translation dictionary on YouTube where that people around the world will use to learn the English language.
Of course.
Well, some
Awesome person.
some awesome guy went on there. This is several years ago, and did a fake one, which, if you think about it, will screw up people. So you imagine some person from wherever, the Philippines, and they're going to come to Canada, and they want to learn the language.
You go on YouTube.
They go on YouTube and learn these words. And the guy mispronounces them so badly that they're hilarious. For example, quinoa is on there.
Yes.
Quinoa.
Yeah.
And he goes, coconut koi.
Coconut quoa. Coconut quoa. Coconut quoa.
And then he does it in a sentence.
Coconut koi. And what's the other one?
January.
So January comes up and he goes, Wanwario.
The 10th.
Today is the 10th of Wanwario.
Wanwario. Wanwario. Toddy is the 10th of Wanwario.
It's so good.
Anyway.
People love the internet.
So that's what the podcast is. It's just me explaining Puffy's jokes.
Coconut koi.
Coconut koi.
Coconut koi.
Today is the 10th of Wanwario. So anyway, smoothies. I load up my smoothies. So my daughters like the smoothies as well. So my daughter was making a smoothie the other day in the morning. She was a little sleepy, Gracie. And she popped in, I think, some bananas and some almond milk and a bag of frozen pineapple she found.
Perfect.
In the freezer.
That sounds tasty.
Oh, boy.
I had a little sip, and Gracie was having a sip. So I'm like, what's in this, Gracie? And she's like, some bananas and pineapples. I'm like, pineapples, eh? Throw me that bag. They were pierogies. Pierogies.
But I mean, pineapples is such a distinctive taste too.
Wow.
Like you'd
Well,
would overwhelm everything.
Pierogies don't exactly look like pineapples,
They don't.
but when stuff is frozen,
Yeah,
there's
it's
a
got
little
that icing
freezer
on
burn
it,
on
yeah.
them.
Oh, that's an easy mistake.
Easy mistake there.
Yeah, that was yummy.
Wow.
Speaking of disgusting foods, I wanted to ask you guys this because I saw this could also be things that I saw on Twitter. because I saw a story that reaffirms something from my youth. Just play the damn theme.
Freaky pigs, strange chicks, world affairs, polar bears, fake news, nice shoes, big boobs, jack dudes, all of these things and more as I sat on the shitter. Things that I saw on Twitter.
So this is two segments in one. We're still doing the week that was.
Yes.
It's also things that I saw on Twitter. At Thanksgiving every year, I didn't make it to my cottage to spend Thanksgiving with my family just because we had other complications here and my wife's family came down. But something we eat at Thanksgiving and Christmas. Have you ever heard, and maybe I've talked about this on this pod before, of Aspic?
No, my goodness.
I don't think you've talked about this.
Where are you from, man?
Aspic?
There is a food called Aspic that I grew up with, and so I thought it was completely normal. Aspic is as disgusting as it sounds. It is a gelatin, like Jell-O.
Yeah,
I think you might have to use
disgusting.
Jell-O, but it's with tomato paste or tomato soup. So it's like eating tomatoes
Jell-O
with cottage cheese at the bottom. And there's some onions and other things thrown in there.
Why?
So I don't know. I think I might have tweeted it or something last year, and a couple people actually responded and said, yeah, we've had it. It's Aspic, by the way, Aspic.
Wow.
Okay.
So in the Globe and Mail on the weekend, does anyone want Aspic on their Thanksgiving Day table? Yes, some do. A big article.
Really?
Article. What did I just say?
Article.
A large article about Aspic and the origins of Aspic. So people... Here's a picture of it for you guys. Sorry, this is not good for our listeners.
That looks disgusting.
That's what the Aspic looks like.
Now, this is something your parents...
Yeah, this is my mom has done.
And then did it carry on? Do you say, Cheryl, we want some Aspic this year. It's not going to be Thanksgiving without it?
No, I think that my sisters drew the line, but only about 2 years ago.
Okay.
Where they said enough with the Aspic, Mom.
Wow.
Because she was only making it for me, because it used to be my favorite thing. I would have 2 pieces of turkey and just jam the whole plate full of Aspic. Oh, yeah.
Wow.
Yeah. Because it kind of reminded me of dessert for me. And,
yeah, you're such a dessert guy.
Anyway, so Aspic has been around for apparently centuries. And the 1963 Joys of Jell-O cookbook features an Aspic type thing in it. So there you go. Aspic's origins.
Wow.
This is an educational podcast as well.
Absolutely.
Do you think there's anyone who will try it now?
Should I tweet out the recipe?
You should tweet out the recipe.
Why don't we have, at Christmas, we'll have my mom on, Sheila.
Yep.
And she can give the Aspic recipe. Can you remind me of this? Because it'll be another thing we don't do.
Yeah, for sure.
I tell you what, you guys won't remind me because I know Puffy won't. He's useless.
Yeah.
James's mama's coming on.
There's the song.
Maybe you could write a little Aspic song.
And she's bringing some Aspic.
Aspic for everyone.
It sounded a little too sultry for a song about my mom. Don't cross the line here, all right?
Yeah,
I like those fries.
This is also from the week that was, but things that I saw on Twitter. There was a football game on the weekend, and maybe the single worst analyst call in the history of sports. Now, the pod will not do it justice, so I beg you to go on, I think it was on Barstool, or just, I don't know, search missed field goal or something, and you'll find it. I should have even looked up the teams here, and I haven't. Maybe here, Christoph can add in after the pod what were the teams involved.
It's East Michigan and Toledo.
Thank you. East Michigan versus Toledo.
I think that's a MAC matchup.
So before I play the sound, I'll have to tell you that this kick misses wide right by 15 yards.
Yeah, it's well right.
15 yards wide right.
Yeah.
Here's the play-by-play call.
He didn't go back this far in warm-ups. This would be a big kick for him.
6 of 7 on the year is Paulie Fricano. Fricano is 6 of 8 now.
Off the crossbar. He just barely had enough, but he knocked it through, Ben. Jensen, that's a big kick for Paulie Fricano.
Wow.
Eastern Michigan answers. 3-3.
3-3.
But they let him throw to break, too. That's my favorite part. So, the play-by-play guy said he's 6 for 7. Oh, he's 6 for 8 now. He missed. So I have no idea.
They must not have had monitors.
Yeah, because the score still said 3-0 too. So.
Yeah, I don't know.
Well, or he's not looking at his monitor. So when I did the one thing about I used to always sit in my living room and do play-by-play growing up, like everybody does. I think that ends up getting into sportscasting, and it seems so easy. I will say when I first did CFL play-by-play back in the early 2000s, the one thing that as a sort of rookie play-by-play guy you struggle with is, are you looking at the monitor? Are you looking at the field? Most guys will look at the field but then refer to the monitor, particularly on replays. But it's a constant game, because sometimes if you're looking at the field, you can't necessarily identify who the receiver is, and people at home are seeing it right there.
Yeah.
Or I can tell sometimes when the play-by-play guys are looking at the field, because they'll go, he's close to a first down, and you can see on the monitor the yellow line, he's clearly past it, right?
Yeah.
So I'm thinking that the vantage point of these guys was the opposite side of where the ball was. So he just...
But to describe it hitting the...
How is your producer not in your ear saying, dude?
Well, sometimes the producer is looking down.
I'm sure he's looking down.
We're going to break in
break,
5, 4, 3, 2, 1. He's looking at his watch or whatever.
He's assuming the analyst isn't going to describe a play that didn't happen.
Wow.
But that's a horrible moment. There was one for me in about my 5th CFL game where, and again, apologies if I did this last year because I can't remember anything, but it was Saskatchewan, Ottawa, in Ottawa, and Saskatchewan needed a touchdown on the last drive. And I decided in my head, this is going to be a big play. This is the last play of the game. They have to get a touchdown. I'm going to let the crowd carry it. And so I said, it was Nealon Green, I think, was the quarterback for Sask. And I'm like, all right, Nealon Green rolls out. Last play, they have to score to the end zone. And I think I just left it at that.
Yeah.
Because it was knocked down and the crowd went crazy. So I don't think I actually called it. I might have said no, but I don't think I said much. And I let the crowd carry it, and in my head I thought it was gold.
You nailed it.
Gold. And John Hines, the producer, gets in my ear and goes, James, you got to tell him what happened. I go, what do you mean? He goes, we lost the feed. They only heard your audio, and nobody has any idea what happened because of what you said. So I have to go back and go. By the way, that pass was knocked down. Sorry, everybody.
Let the pictures do the talking.
It was the first night they had the HD truck there. They were experimenting with HD. This is how old I am. And so they had 2 trucks, an HD production truck and the normal truck. And the normal truck was carrying the game, and the HD truck was practicing. And some guy, they pulled the plug on HD with 30 seconds left, and he pulled the wrong plug, and he pulled out the video plug for our truck.
That's happened a few times.
It's definitely happened.
And in my mind, I'm thinking that was a golden call. And
good job,
instead it was
Jimmy.
The worst.
You know what?
Call
I think I mentioned I've been at TSN now for 22 years. And we had an incident, speaking of losing the feed, it's probably my worst moment as a TSN staffer, but it was the 1996 World Hockey Championship semifinal, Canada and Russia.
This is the shootout?
The shootout.
Where Gord had to describe it sitting at the desk?
It was Gord describing it sitting at the desk, but it was Darren Detition and doing play-by-play.
So here's Dutchy's big moment.
Yeah. So and then I don't know. I don't.
That
remember
was a satellite window. I think it was not
window
booked.
that was not booked. So
okay.
It was.
So again, for the listeners, so basically, if you're going to do a game, somebody has to book a satellite window for the 3.5 hours or whatever that you will be up.
Yes.
And someone forgot to extend that window when it went to a shootout. It would be the most simplest way to explain it, right?
I think so. I think it was maybe a difference in the way it was booked. It was booked as a news feed as opposed to being a sports feed. Because if it's a sports feed, then it doesn't go down until the game's over.
Right.
But it was only not like you're right. It basically the overtime and shootout
got to that top of the hour. The window ended and boom. Yeah.
So I remember I was sitting in the newsroom, sports desk at the time, and we're all watching, and it goes to black, and everybody's like, And like, we just thought, okay, maybe just for a quick second, but then we were freaking out, right? So it was crazy. It's crazy.
Well, I was going to. I mean, poor Gordo's sitting there on the set.
Yeah.
Like, okay, and now it's Paul Correa, and he scores, and
we eventually got pictures back.
Did they win that shootout? Do you remember?
They did win the shootout. Actually,
okay.
It was actually. You know what? Ray Ferraro scored a goal in that game.
Wow.
I'm pretty sure Ray was in that game.
Really?
Yeah. Ask Ray about that.
Okay. Well, he wouldn't care. He wouldn't even know probably that we weren't on TV.
No. I just mean
I would never do that TV stuff.
Yeah, screw you. Yeah,
Ray
he was miserable, and now he's on. You know, Ray was the only one. Remember, we used to have the rink on our set.
Yep.
So we'd get all the guys to come and put on their skates and demonstrate something.
Yeah.
You know, face-offs, backhands.
Yeah.
Ray was the only one who wouldn't put on his skates. He showed up. He said, "I'm not putting on my skates. I could bust an ankle or something like that, and my career would be over." Ray was still playing at the time. Now he's pretty much the best analyst in hockey, but I like
he's pretty good.
We got to give him the gears at some point. Plus, he's got a rival podcast.
He does.
So he won't come on this one. Yeah. Some guy out of Vegas.
Yeah, the
rival
Pulp,
podcast.
I think it's the Pulp podcast or something.
There's some under the table money
There's some
there.
cash.
Who's buttering his bread? TSN or this other guy?
Some dude in Vegas. Yeah, it sounds shady.
It sounds very shady.
It really doesn't sound shady at all, but we're going to make it seem shady.
It's probably where your doctor got his degree there.
Yeah, exactly. We better get to fandom. It's the fandom segment. The Fandom Sports app, the only app where you get to argue about sports and win stuff. Vote on arguments, post your own arguments, win fights, collect points, and win cool stuff. Fight with your thumbs, not with your fists. The Fandom Sports app, available now on the Apple Store. There's a new version coming shortly and coming soon to all of you Android users. We had a question last week. We asked about the real home run record. We didn't do so good in that, so well in that discussion. It was a struggle, wasn't it?
Yeah, 18, is that the number we came up with?
The Rod Smith recap pretty much annihilated any credibility we had left. The Roger Maris actually won on the fandom.
Oh, wow.
Nice.
So more people believe that Roger Maris is the real home run record over Barry Bonds and his 73. As for the winner of the fandom question, little glitch on the question, so I didn't even tweet it out this week, so I take full blame for this, but I'm still going to award a book, and that goes to Nick Wright, who said hitting home runs isn't just about strength, it's about getting the perfect amount of contact, kind of like a golf swing. I liked it. There weren't many comments on there because I screwed up.
Oh, it's all right, James. Don't beat yourself up.
We're going to make up for it this week. The fandom question for this week, my Niners are struggling, Puff.
They are struggling.
0-5.
And unfortunately for them, others are struggling too.
Because I actually think it's been a perfect season for the Niners because we knew they were going to suck.
Yeah.
But they've been competitive.
Yeah, their games haven't been blowouts.
They've been okay, and they keep losing. So hopefully they're going to come get the first overall pick and one of those quarterbacks from California.
Quarterbacks are good, yeah.
There's two California quarterbacks, which would be a perfect fit,
yeah.
and get the first overall pick. But the Giants are 0-5. I don't think the Giants are that bad, but with Beckham out maybe. Cleveland is 0-5. So our fandom question of the week, which is already up there, to save your life, this sounds like a Puffy's hypothetical, for $1 billion, no. To save your life, one of these teams needs to win a football game. Who do you go with? The San Francisco 49ers or the Cleveland Browns?
Now, they're not playing each other, right?
Okay, so this weekend, San Francisco's in Washington, Cleveland is in Texas. Now, they could be, if they're 0-6 and you're not listening to this until Sunday night or Monday, you can still go in and vote. There's a decent chance they'll both be 0-6 at that point. Your life is on the line. You have to pick San Fran or Cleveland. Puffy, you've had wagers before where you've gotten in such a hole with bookies that your life has been on the line.
It'll break your legs.
I wish you were kidding. I would say, I have to go San Francisco. Just Cleveland, I saw a stat the other day. They've been around since, the new Browns, since 97. They still haven't won 100 games in 20 years.
That's 5 a year. That's not good.
Wow.
In 20, you could have a 10-year where you're just in a bad 20 years.
That's a long time.
Yeah, you can't trust them for anything.
Lester?
I say Cleveland only because I think they're due. They're due.
That's like the Washington Generals.
Would be the
due.
definition of due. All right, Cleveland. Stoff?
I'm going to go with Cleveland. Simply, I don't know, J.J. Watt's out. Maybe path of least resistance there.
That's true.
They're starting the new quarterback,
Stoff goes
too.
next level. He takes it to the opponent.
Yeah.
Right?
Kevin Hogan's their quarterback, I believe. Maybe starting him the first time. We'll give him a spray.
Breaking down
little
some
NFL expert over here.
Look at that.
Probably completely wrong.
I got to go with the Niners because that's
your team.
That's my heart and soul.
Yeah, but then wouldn't it be a little more crushing if they're the ones who kill you in the end?
Well, it goes down with the team.
Yeah, but that's a good way to die as a faithful supporter because you've always accused me of being bandwagon.
That's true. You do have bandwagon.
Okay, should we
tendencies.
take it next level? And if, like for instance, if San Fran wins, we kill Leicester.
What did I do?
Even if Cleveland wins as well.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, no, either
Wow.
Or if they lose.
because that would be a good segment.
If you don't like my songs, just tell me. Man. Wow.
That's the fandom segment for this week. Please go on. Hashtag rubber boots, please.
My least
And
favorite one, by the way.
Answer the question. to save your life, one of these teams needs to win. Who do you select, San Francisco or Cleveland? So it's not just as simple as voting. We want a really good or a funny explanation underneath. Hashtag rubber boots. We'll give away a book. I'm also starting to get some other prizes.
Oh, wow.
In fact, somebody sent me a Leafs jersey. Now, this is not, despite Puffy's love for the Leafs,
You love them.
and, you know, Lester's a Habs guy. I'm neutral. The Stoff likes the Leafs a little bit, but we are not a Toronto-centric podcast. You know, I'm very sensitive about that whole thing with our network, and I was raised in Ottawa and BC, and so we have listeners from all over the country. But I happened to get sent a Leafs jersey by Adidas.
Oh, nice. Is there a name on the back?
Well, it says Duffy.
Oh.
But here's what I did. I wrote them back and said, could you send me another one that doesn't have a name on the back? So maybe along with an autographed copy of the book, I will award a Leafs jersey. Now, if you're an Oilers fan, Flames fan, Jets fan, whatever, Capitals fan, Thrashers fan.
Yeah. Thrashers. Hanging on.
Golden Seals fan.
Hey, the Jets came back. Maybe the Thrashers.
I have to give you the Leafs. I have to give you the Leafs jersey. I can't trade it in for anything.
Yeah.
But basically, I'm making a vow to you that this is the time of year where I get sent a lot of free stuff. People send me stuff.
Yeah.
They send beer companies send me beer. People send me jerseys. I'll give away anything I get. I'm going to give away to our
generous of you.
I'm going to give away to
Very
our
generous.
listeners. I'm a very fortunate man. Bob.
You are very
I can't fit anything else in the compound. The 18 rooms are all full.
With
even the wrapping room. Tori Spelling had a wrapping room.
Oh, my goodness.
That's always stuck in my head. In her house. She had a room just to wrap presents.
And did she do the wrapping, I wonder? Or did she have
No,
a
that was
person
that was in
there?
the Aaron Spelling mansion. But Tori at 10 had her own wrapping room.
The house has multiple living rooms, 4 bars, 3 kitchens, 2 pools, more than a dozen bedrooms. There's also an arcade, a room for gift wrapping, a room for gift wrapping, a room for gift wrapping.
I wrote a song. Our band had a song called Tori Had a Wrapping Room.
Really?
Tori had a wrapping room. Anyway.
Speaking of stuff that we talk about that we don't follow up on, we must find those tapes of this band.
Your band.
And play an excerpt of your song.
Yeah, I'm gonna have to get the guy I was talking about last week, Daryl.
Yeah.
Hall in ass.
Hall in
but
ass.
Hall apostrophe in ass, like Hall and Oates.
Yeah.
I'm going to dig that up. So you want me to, and it might be a cassette. Do we have any technical capabilities here to turn a cassette into something that is playable on air?
I can digitize it if need be at my house. We'll find a way. Don't worry, James. There's no way you're getting out of this.
All right. I actually think I have it in my basement. So Lester, remind me. Send me a text this weekend.
Okay.
And I'm going to dig up some Hall and Ass, the lost tapes of Hall and Ass. That could be. Should that be a special in itself?
Yeah.
The lost tapes of Hall and Ass.
Now, are
It's
all
certainly a
the
segment.
band
It should be a
members
CNN Saturday night, like 2-hour show
do you have all access to all the members of the band? Like
to do documentary interviews.
Reunion show.
Wow.
Are they all alive?
They are all living.
That's
Daryl
good.
was the only one we were questioning, but we found out he is alive somewhere
good.
out on the East Coast. We can't get a hold of him. Actually, one of them's a pothead living in Nanaimo, the drummer.
Did the
So
music turn him to the drugs?
He might be gonzo. Actually, he might listen to this too, my good buddy Mikey. I shouldn't call him a pothead.
but
He smokes a lot of pot.
He smokes
all the time.
He smokes a lot of
He's
pot.
probably high now.
He almost got me fired before I even started here. Not fired, but
Like at TSN?
yeah, it's a long story. He was writing when he moved to Nanaimo, and he was writing for a kind of one of those alternative Nanaimo papers,
High Times?
something like that, basically.
The
And
Daily
so
Pothead.
I was working. I was working in Vancouver. One of those papers you get in like a small town where you pick it up at a newsstand. And It's got
Weed Today.
concert reviews. And
We did it.
had a lot of weed ads. So he said, I want to do a feature on you. You know, my buddy makes it to TSN. I'd just been hired by TSN.
Okay.
I said, yeah, no problem. So we sat around and had some beers. and I was completely talking off the cuff because I'm talking to one of my best friends.
For sure.
So I thought he wouldn't write everything I said. And he wrote everything I said. And he published it, and it was a full-page article in this paper. And he put in a picture of him and I completely hammered in Acapulco together.
Yeah.
I was holding, first of all, I'm wearing a, what's the political description for
undershirt?
An undershirt. I'm not going to call it a beater.
Tank top.
A tank top.
Yes. A tank top. Yes. A tank top, which were like a pink tank top. Remember the time where it was like the Miami Vice white pants and pink or lime green tank tops?
Yeah, sure.
I don't recall that.
Okay, well, I'm older.
Yeah.
I have that on. He has something else like that on. I got a 26er in my hand. I'm just completely, and that's the full-size picture in the paper. The one picture they use.
Wow.
No picture of me sitting at a desk like TSN releases. And the caption for the photo said, James, comma, my longtime companion, comma, and I in Acapulco. The whole article was tongue-in-cheek. But I can remember my second or third day on the job, Rick Chisholm, who was our vice president at TSN at the time.
Great guy.
Fantastic guy. He sees me in the hall and he goes, James Duthie, star of the Nanaimo Weed Times or whatever. And that was, that was pre sort of internet where you didn't think that something from some small paper would get back to your bosses.
Yeah.
But Chiz had a buddy in Nanaimo who sent this back to him. And I had to go into his office and explain every line in this article he basically told like all the inside stories your buddies would never tell publicly in this article. And
was there tension between the two of you after?
No. And you know what? Chiz was completely understanding. And no, there wasn't tension, but I had to call him and say, Mike,
lesson,
you fool, you are killing me.
Lesson learned. You must vet all your interviews from now on.
Yeah, he didn't understand. He was high.
Because I got high.
I love you, man.
But when the band started, Mike really wasn't a good drummer. He just decided to drum. We had this drum set and no drummer. So hey, we need a drummer. So Mike would go back there. But then when he went out to Nanaimo, he actually became a pretty good drummer.
Oh, nice.
And I think was in a few bands out there. So maybe we'll have Mike on the podcast when we do the Lost Tapes of Haul and Ass, the 2-hour Rubber Boots podcast special. Very special edition of Puffy's Hypotheticals this week because there's not really a question. I want first to hear the theme for Puffy's Hypotheticals.
Yo. 1, 2, 1, 2. These hypotheticals are messing with my mind. These hypotheticals, what's gonna be this time? These hypotheticals are blowing my mind again. These hypotheticals.
Okay, so as we've said many times, we love all the themes that Lester does.
Mm-hmm.
But there has been a movement online.
Really?
A grassroots movement to bring back the original Puffy's Hypotheticals theme. And
I don't really remember the original.
Well, that's why we're going to play it right now.
Puffy's hypotheticals are messing with my mind. Puffy's hypotheticals, what's it gonna be this time? Puffy's hypotheticals are blowing my mind again. Puffy's hypotheticals.
Now, was there another one in the middle?
No, those are the only two.
Those are the only two.
So all I did is just put some more production. I mean, I've always liked it's the same guitar part, but I just use electric guitar on the new one. I put obviously there's drums in it and, some bass. And
I don't know if it's people's yearning for the old days.
The old days of the podcast. 8 months ago. Oh, back then it was simpler times. Trump was, he was still in. We've been here the whole Trump era.
Anyway, so I only asked because 2 or 3 people had asked for that. Now
that's the movement.
What do you want, bud?
You're like, there's a groundswell on the Twitter. It's really
actually
it might have been 2 or 3.
It might have been one guy 3 times.
If if it was that Jimmy guy on the internet, he's been all over the place.
He's been relentless. I am the Chester McLean has been pretty quiet, but what's my guy? Not Jimmy Duthie or something.
Not Jimmy Duthie.
He is relentless.
He's on fire.
I know, and it is not me.
I don't know.
It's gotten to the point where I might have to say
there was one tweet that I was like, it was a little suspicious.
Sounded like he was quoting me directly. Something only I would say. Okay, so your vote, Puffy. That's the Puffy's hypotheticals this week.
I think I do remember when it switched, and I liked the original,
but now it's grown
on me, and I like the new one.
Same thing. I liked the old one better when we premiered the new one, but that one's definitely grown on me.
Right, because it does have better. And
all the heads are bopping in here when it's playing.
Okay, so why don't we do this? We'll put it out to the people this week.
By a vote of 2-1.
Democracy has struck again.
Well, we got to go with it. It's like the people have spoken.
Do you remember in season 1, I said something about if you want to hear me sing next week, vote or whatever. And then no one voted. Write us on Twitter. We'll do a poll here. Crickets. And the final tally is 0-0.
Well, the no's have it.
0.
Okay, but look at. I know. Look, we're very thankful that any of you listen to this podcast, and I know you don't have a lot of time to go on to Twitter necessarily, or go on to fandom.
No one's ever
go
on
to
Twitter.
fandom and do your feedback. But we'd appreciate it if we had enough votes to form a majority. That would be three votes. Actually, that would be 1 vote. We can't have 2 unless they're both for the same one. Go on to the Rubber Boots Pod account on Twitter and vote for the old Puffy's hypotheticals or the new Puffy's hypotheticals, and we will let democracy speak. Screw you, North Korea. Democracy will speak this week.
People need to vote.
All right?
Mm-hmm. That's hilarious. I like both, for the record.
Big surprise. I love all my work.
If you had to vote, though, what would you take? Because the old one's kind of a little more you. It's like raw Lester.
Yeah. Well, the old one's the unplugged version. But I like the
new old one's kind of the Lester McLean band. The new one's kind of the Gravediggers. What's it called?
The Gravediggers. You're not my
boogie. The boogie.
Groove machine.
Groove yard. Think graveyard except groove.
Groove machines.
Groove machine.
The groove machine. The Groove Yard.
Groove Yard.
Now, would the Groove Yard play Halloween parties?
Yeah.
That's what it seemed like to me.
Yeah, Halloween parties.
You'd be all in ghoulish outfits.
My band would do too, yeah.
Yeah. All right. Yeah. I had another dream, but I think I'll save that to next week because we're almost at an hour here. And it was a doozy.
What a show.
That's a tease.
That is a tease. People will be clamoring for next week.
Thank you, fandom. Once again. I think I promised another sponsor this week. There's been some hiccups. But hopefully they'll be on board by next week. Download the Fandom app. Please participate. You'll get a book and a brand new Leafs jersey. If you're a fan of another team, I'm sorry. Give it to a Leafs friend of yours or lover. Thank you, everybody, for listening.
Moments after the podcast concluded, James received the call from the Shady Medical Clinic with his x-ray results. Here is an excerpt of that conversation.
He doesn't have a... So did you guys got the x-rays? Just says broken. Could be 1, could be 3. Okay, thank you for your help.
This is Shady's podcast, Shady's Rubber Boots podcast. We're gonna sit and relax and tell you all sorts of stories. Talk about life and little sports. You know we're gonna play some games. And if nothing else, you know we're gonna have a laugh. We're gonna have a laugh, oh yeah, 'cause this is the podcast.
Are you wearing your rubber boots tonight?